gmna uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, I'm Vivian Castellanos. A flood watch is in place as heavy thunderstorms threaten tonight's commute, and the mayor's office is suing the council over a $10,000 paraprofessional pay boost. Later, Union Square will turn into a Shrek-themed celebration and will spotlight the new small business grant program. Over to you, Andre.
Union Square will host a Shrek-themed celebration this Saturday, featuring a free outdoor screening of the original film, costume contests, and swamp-inspired activities.
Families can gather at the south side of Union Square Park from noon until sunset, where giant Shrek statues and a photo booth await participants of all ages.
Local food vendors will serve swamp green cupcakes, green apple slushies, and themed popcorn, while a live DJ spins soundtrack remixes throughout the afternoon celebration.
Crowds will fill Union Square enjoying Shrek screenings, games, and themed snacks, so lots to get to. Let's begin. Here are our top stories. AccuWeather has issued a flood watch for New York City as afternoon thunderstorms bring heavy rain, raising flooding concerns for the evening commute. Dominic Salerno has the full story.
An AccuWeather flood watch now covers New York City, as forecasters predict afternoon thunderstorms that will intensify into heavy rain through the evening commute. Meteorologists say the downpours could overwhelm streets and subway tunnels, especially as commuters flood the avenues and tunnels after work. The watch was issued for the afternoon and evening of today, August 20th, 2026, and remains in effect until late tonight. Residents are being urged to stay alert for localized flooding, particularly in low-lying neighborhoods and near waterfronts where water can rise quickly. Drivers are advised to expect slower traffic and possible road closures as water accumulates on bridges and underpasses. Dominic Salerno, GMNA News, New York City.
Mayor Zoran Mamdani's administration has filed a lawsuit seeking to block the recently enacted Respect Check Act, which grants city paraprofessionals a one-time $10,000 stabilization payment. The legal action filed today targets the council's approval of the measure that was signed into law yesterday. The mayor's office argues the act violates the city's collective bargaining rules, asserting that the payment circumvents negotiated agreements with the paraprofessional unions. City council members contend the boost is needed to help struggling support staff across schools and social service agencies. The paraprofessional workforce, encompassing thousands of aides in public schools and city agencies, says the $10,000 check could provide critical financial relief amid rising living costs. The case is now before the city's highest court, and a hearing is scheduled for later this month. Both sides have pledged to defend their positions, leaving the fate of the $10,000 benefit in legal limbo as the lawsuit proceeds.
Today, a settlement was reached between CAMBA, the nonprofit that runs supportive housing services, and legal aid over the recent removal of tenants from the Bedford Gardens development in South Williamsburg, Brooklyn. The agreement resolves a dispute that had centered on evictions of vulnerable residents who rely on on-site support for health, disability, and income assistance. Under the terms, CAMBA will halt any pending removals and work with legal aid to create a clear process for future tenancy decisions, while both organizations will fund a joint oversight board to monitor compliance. City officials praised the collaborative outcome, noting it safeguards affordable housing and prevents further displacement in a neighborhood already strained by rising rents. The settlement also includes provisions for counseling services for affected families and a review of lease termination policies to ensure they meet state housing standards.
Federal Medicaid work rules could cut benefits for 3.6 million New Yorkers, with 1.3 million in 3 Bronx and Manhattan districts, part of an impact on 67 million people. Dominic Salerno has the full story.
Federal officials are rolling out new Medicaid work requirements that could slash benefits for residents in 3 congressional districts spanning the Bronx and northern Manhattan. The proposal would tighten eligibility, forcing recipients to meet employment or training criteria to keep coverage. Nationwide, an estimated 67 million people could feel the impact, while New York City alone counts roughly 3.6 million Medicaid enrollees. More than 1.3 million of those live within the targeted districts, meaning a sizable share could see reduced assistance if the rules take effect. Advocates warn the changes risk leaving vulnerable families without health care, while the administration frames them as a push towards self-sufficiency. This is Dominic Salerno, GMNA News, Bronx.
The city's historic fire museum is set to swing its doors open today on Spring Street in Manhattan after a 2-year overhaul. The 278 Spring Street Firehouse, built in 1904, was shuttered in May 2024 when engineers flagged structural concerns. Over the past 24 months, crews reinforced the brick facade, upgraded the sprinkler system, and restored original brass fire poles while adding interactive exhibits on modern firefighting. Museum officials say the renovation preserves the building's turn-of-the-century character while meeting today's safety standards. Visitors can expect guided tours that trace the evolution from horse-drawn engines to the high-tech rigs that patrol the city's 5 boroughs. Tickets go on sale this afternoon, and the first public walkthrough is scheduled for this evening, marking a new chapter for the beloved institution. Later we'll break down the Bronx shooting that left 3 injured, plus the new scaffolding removal rules. Stay tuned, we will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. Today, the New York City Department of Buildings will roll out new regulations aimed at speeding the removal of scaffolding on private and commercial properties. Mayor Zoran Mamdani announced that owners will be required to dismantle temporary structures within tighter deadlines and will have a broader selection of approved designs to choose from. The rule change comes after months of complaints about miles of scaffolding crowding streets and obscuring facades across Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and Staten Island. By tightening timelines and expanding design options, officials hope to reduce the visual clutter that has become a daily eyesore for commuters and pedestrians. Property owners will need to adjust project schedules and coordinate with contractors to meet the accelerated removal schedule once the guidelines take effect later this week. The department said compliance will be monitored through routine inspections.
A shooting in the Bronx left 3 people wounded, all rushed to a hospital as police continue their investigation. The incident remains ongoing. Dominic Salerno has the full story.
Police say a shooting broke out in the Bronx on Thursday, August 20th, leaving 3 people wounded. Officers responded to calls near the intersection of East 149th Street and Willis Avenue, where witnesses reported hearing gunshots. Emergency crews arrived quickly, providing first aid before transporting the victims to a hospital for treatment. Hospital officials confirmed that the 3 individuals were admitted with gunshot injuries, but did not release further details on their conditions. The investigation remains ongoing, with detectives canvassing the area and reviewing surveillance footage. No arrests have been announced at this time, and police are asking anyone with information to come forward. The 44th Precinct, which responded, has stepped up patrols in surrounding blocks. Residents said they heard the shots after 7 p.m. Dominic Salerno, GMNA News, Bronx.
Immigrants held at the Delaney Hall Detention Center in New Jersey formally requested that Attorney General Jennifer Davenport certify their U visa applications, a move made in June. The detainees claim they are victims of criminal activity and argue that certification is essential for eligibility under the U visa program, which allows non-citizen crime victims who cooperate with law enforcement to remain in the United States. Certification by a state attorney general is a required step before federal authorities can grant the visas. ICE officials confirmed the filings but declined to comment on the merits of the claims. Advocates note that a successful certification could lead to release or adjustment of status for the individuals, while opponents warn that the process may strain limited resources. The request now awaits a decision from the Attorney General's office.
Yesterday, the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene confirmed the city's first human West Nile infection of the year, and the Suffolk County Department of Health reported its own case, marking the inaugural human cases for 2026 in the region. Both agencies said mosquito testing earlier this summer uncovered the virus in local mosquito populations, prompting heightened surveillance. West Nile virus spreads through mosquito bites and can cause fever, headache, and in severe instances, neurological complications. Officials reminded residents to eliminate standing water, use insect repellent, and wear long sleeves during dusk hours. They said they will intensify mosquito control measures throughout affected neighborhoods, including larvicide applications and adulticide fogging where needed. The health departments will continue tracking any additional cases and working with vector control teams to reduce mosquito breeding sites across the 5 boroughs in Suffolk County.
49 New York City sanitation workers have been punctured by needles from improperly discarded weight loss auto-injector pens, sparking an ongoing investigation into waste handling practices. Dominic Salerno has the full story.
Sanitation crews cleaning a midtown alley this morning found dozens of discarded auto-injector pens used for weight loss drugs. When the plastic cartridges were ripped open, hidden needles pierced the gloves of workers handling the trash, leaving 49 of them with puncture wounds. The pens, designed to be dropped into sharps containers, had been tossed into regular garbage bags, exposing the crews to the hidden sharps. First responders on site applied immediate first aid and sent the injured to local hospitals for evaluation. The department is now reminding residents to use the designated disposal bins for any medical injectors to avoid further injuries. City sanitation officials said they will increase collection points for sharps and conduct additional training for crews. Dominic Salerno, GMNA News, New York City.
Let's get a look at your evening forecast with our meteorologist for tonight.
A steady pressure ridge and a southwest jet keep tonight's clouds thick and rain on the horizon. On this date, the city once burned at 90 degrees in 2021, a record set during a lingering heat wave that pushed daily highs well into the mid-90s. The opposite extreme fell to 51 degrees in 2020, when a sudden Arctic dip trapped a cold front over the region in early August. Normal August highs hover around 84 with lows near 68, so both extremes sit well outside the climatological range. Those outliers remind us how flexible the northeastern atmosphere can become when the jet stream stalls or plunges. The radar screen shows a swath of moderate echoes marching eastward across western New York. Bands of rain are already crossing the Hudson and will spill into the city by 7 p.m., intensifying as they ride the low-level jet. The heaviest core will arrive near 10 p.m., then the echoes will dissipate as the flow turns southward. With the upper-level jet pushing dry air in from the southwest, the system will clear shortly after midnight. At 6 p.m., the sky remains thickly overcast with a temperature of 75 degrees and humidity perched at 83%. A gentle southeast breeze at 6 miles per hour keeps the air still while the dew point sits at 70 degrees, reinforcing the muggy feel. Pressure is steady, and a southwest jet stream at 63 miles per hour channels moisture toward the region. The UV index reads 6, and wind gusts will climb to 22 miles per hour from the southwest after dark. Radar indicates a light rain band moving in around 7 p.m., peaking near 10 p.m. before tapering off. No watches or warnings are in effect, so the evening will be damp but uneventful. As the rain fades, temperatures will dip to 66 degrees overnight, setting the stage for the next day's outlook. Looking ahead, Friday holds a high of 75 and a low of 66 under a blanket of clouds, with no rain expected. Saturday repeats the 75 high and 66 low, but a 50% chance of rain arrives as a weak front slides in from the west. Sunday warms to 81 with a low of 64, though scattered showers may linger, giving a 25% chance. Monday clears dramatically, delivering a high of 77, a low of 63 and bright skies as high pressure builds. Tuesday mirrors Monday with the same temperatures and clear conditions, completing a brief stretch of mild, dry weather before the next system approaches. Light southwest breezes will linger, keeping the air fresh. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Heavy downpours will test tonight's commute. While Union Square hosts a Shrek showdown and Giants-Dolphins practice insights arrive, we will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Heavy rain is rolling across the city, and flash flooding could turn a routine drive into a delay tonight. On the Queens side, a single lane on the Metropolitan Avenue Bridge is closed to southbound traffic, so expect a backup on Metropolitan Avenue and the adjacent Queens Boulevard corridor. In Brooklyn, Belt Parkway Bridge rehabilitation forces a lane reduction, nudging traffic onto service roads and adding minutes to trips between the Verrazano and Shore Parkway. The 17th Avenue pedestrian bridge replacement narrows the sidewalk, but vehicle flow on 17th Avenue remains steady. Aside from those sites, most major arteries from the FDR Drive to the West Side Highway are moving freely. In transit, the MTA's track work and signal modernization on the A, C, and E lines will hold trains at stations longer, especially between 125th Street and the World Trade Center. Riders should anticipate a 5-minute delay during peak periods. That's the picture for this afternoon's commute.
Legions of Shreks is taking over Union Square tonight with a free screening of the animated classic, complete with roar face-offs and swamp-themed celebrations. A perfect way to unwind after a long day and bring the kids out for a laugh. Later this week, the Guggenheim Museum on East 88th Street is throwing a huge free block party inspired by its new pop art exhibit, featuring live music, hands-on art making, and a surprise Barbie screening, a chance to soak up culture without spending a dime. Meanwhile, New York's first Sake Brewery has revived its all-you-can-drink Sake Festival, now running across the city with more than 50 breweries from around the world, offering a fresh way to explore flavors and celebrate summer's last heat. Also on the horizon, the city's most beautiful museum will reopen in October and roll out a 25th anniversary exhibition in November, promising a landmark return for art lovers. And now here's Desmond with sports.
Preseason heat turns up in the city as Giants, Jets, and Yankees gear up. The Giants' defensive line, led by Marlon Davidson, owned the joint session under scorching heat, forcing the Dolphins into early punts. Coach John Harbaugh praised the unit, saying the squad left the field stronger than it arrived, a promising sign as the regular season looms. Quarterback Geno Smith finally gets his preseason snap, taking the helm Friday night against the Steelers. After sitting out the opener, the start offers coaches a clear view of his timing and decision-making ahead of the regular season depth chart battle with rookie backups. The Yankees shifted Max Fried to the injured list with a left elbow bone bruise, retroactive to Friday. His absence forces the rotation to lean on younger arms and tests the depth the club built this offseason, leaving fans to wonder how quickly the staff can fill the void. Stay tuned as preseason heat shapes our city's champions.
Thanks, Desmond. NYC Small Business Grants Program, operating across all 5 boroughs, just received a historic boost from Mayor Mamdani. The mayor has directed $8.4 million in grant funding to revitalize commercial corridors citywide. The program will channel the money to community-based groups that support more than 20,000 small businesses, financing public art, street cleaning, upgraded lighting, wayfinding signs, and targeted marketing. Those improvements aim to draw shoppers back onto neighborhood streets, turning vacant storefronts into vibrant gathering spots. For New Yorkers, a lively Main Street is more than commerce, it's the pulse of community life, and this infusion of resources helps keep that pulse strong. Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx will see fresh lighting and new signage. Up next, we'll explore the city's bold plan to build 700,000 homes over the next decade. Stay with us. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. The mayor's office unveiled a 10-year plan to deliver 700,000 new housing units, surpassing earlier projections and marking the first report required by the 2023 Council Housing Law. Marisol Furrer has the full story.
The mayor's office unveiled a 10-year blueprint to add 700,000 housing units across the city, a figure that tops earlier estimates. Officials say the plan comes as part of the inaugural housing report mandated by a 2023 City Council ordinance, marking the first comprehensive outlook the administration has released. City leaders outlined a mix of affordable rentals, market-rate apartments, and supportive housing projects, targeting neighborhoods that have seen the steepest rent hikes. Funding will draw from federal grants, municipal bonds, and private sector partnerships, while zoning reforms aim to speed approvals. The council is set to debate the proposal in the coming weeks, with officials hopeful the scale will address the city's chronic shortage. Marisol Furrer, GMNA News, New York City.
State audit finds the MTA unlikely to meet its 2040 zero-emission bus target, citing funding gaps, procurement delays, and infrastructure hurdles. Priya Raghunathan has the full story.
The State Comptroller's Office released an audit this week that casts serious doubt on the MTA's pledge to run an all-zero-emission bus fleet by 2040. Auditors point to a string of hurdles, funding shortfalls, delayed vehicle orders, and lingering infrastructure gaps that together make the deadline appear out of reach. MTA officials had already warned in June that the program was hitting snags, and the new findings echo those concerns. Comptroller Thomas Di Napoli said the agency must accelerate its plans or risk missing the target entirely. The report urges faster procurement and a clearer financing roadmap if the city hopes to see clean buses on its streets by the end of the decade. Priya Raghunathan, GMNA News, Manhattan.
Thank you, New York City, for joining us tonight. We hope the reopening of the Fire Museum after its 2-year renovation sparked some excitement. Stay tuned tomorrow for more stories that matter to our neighborhoods. I'm Vivian Castellanos, signing off from the local Sunset. Good night.